So one of the main reasons I thought I'd do this video is because probably like many people in this position, self-employed and not able to work. I'm a tiler, do a trade, heavy work. So I'm just sat wondering really how long I'm going to be off work. For a real world, what happens with an Achilles rupture, full rupture. So hopefully after watching this video, you might have a few more answers to your questions. Maybe you've just done this and you're thinking, what is the situation? What's going to be happening? So this is just my experience. It's not anything gospel. You don't have to take on what I've said, but just giving ideas of what to expect and what we can do with the treatments and things. So I ruptured my Achilles, when was it? Back on the 23rd of July. So we're looking just about 3 weeks ago now. I was playing squash. First I played squash for a good couple of years, obviously with being locked down and things like that, not being able to get out as much as I'd liked. And been playing football, but then squash, obviously quite different, quick changing, high impact, isn't it? Literally just heard the pop, felt like the squash court door had opened up onto the back of my ankle, felt like I'd been kicked in the back of my ankle, and then just dropped to the floor and knew straight away something wasn't good. It was just a case of, yeah, that ain't good, I need to get that seen to. Didn't really get too much pain with it. So maybe you're watching this video wondering whether you've done your Achilles, but for myself, it wasn't too painful when it happened. It was painful to walk on afterwards, upstairs and down flight of stairs and things. Managed to actually drive to the hospital, to A&E, with my clutch as well. So that was a bit painful doing that, but it wasn't as bad. When you look into what the Achilles is, biggest tendon in your body, you think it's going to be really excruciating. But for me personally, I don't know whether other people may be a bit more painful, but the pain wasn't too bad with it. So yeah, went up to the hospital. Turned out they were too busy that night. It was a Friday evening, so I went back home. Went back the next morning early on, and got seen to a bit quicker. So yeah, surgeon, well, the doctor looked at it. They did the squeeze test on your calf. You could tell straight away it was gone. I couldn't feel the Achilles. The Achilles was gone. So they did the squeeze test where it checks whether you've got movement, no movement. Then had an ultrasound. This is all NHS, by the way, living in the UK. So they did an ultrasound and an X-ray. I think the X-ray they do because the Achilles attaches obviously to the heel bone. And then sometimes when it ruptures, it can come away and bring part of the heel bone with it. So they're checking there's no bone fragments around and whether it's done that. Mine hadn't. It was about a 30 mil gap between the Achilles, so proper clean break. So that was it really. So they put me in a cast, and it's one of those front casts where it just keeps your foot pointed down, so that you can't put any extra pressure on the Achilles. I suppose in that time it starts to heal, because there is, you look up some of the info, there's loads of info, arguments for or against surgery. So while your heel is in that position, brings the Achilles the distance shorter for it to heal, and then it's all about your rehab, stretching it out. But they decided to go the surgery route for myself, so I had the surgery about getting on for 2 weeks later. So well, actually no, it was only about 10 days later. So it's been about 2 weeks since surgery now. I'm just waiting for a follow-up appointment. They said 10 to 14 days from the surgery. Surgery went very well, epidural, meant to be awake, but I actually fell asleep during the operation. And yeah, no pain with it again. I went on pain meds for about 2 days, some codeine they give me. But then figured I didn't need it, so stopped taking that. Then now, like I say, I'm just waiting for a follow-up appointment where they'll take this cast off me and hopefully put me in one of those big plastic boots where you have wedges in it, so that you eventually in a few weeks can become weight bearing on that, make it a bit easier getting around. Then they gradually take out those wedges to bring your heel down and stretch that Achilles out, and then all the physiotherapy can start after that. So one of the main reasons I thought I'd do this video is because probably like many people in this position, self-employed and not able to work. I'm a tiler, do a trade, heavy work. So I'm just sat wondering really how long I'm going to be off work. It's not a good one. Achilles tendon is one of the worst for time scales, getting back to normal. Talk of up to a year for doing sports and that again. So yeah, just wanting to know how long it's going to be until I can be back at work. Looking at different things, I'm hoping within about 3 months from operation, I'll be able to get back to some work. Maybe taking it a bit easier at first. There's a lot of rehab and things involved. But yeah, if I could do that, that would be brilliant. In the meantime, when I was at hospital the first time, they give you these lovely pair of crutches. They're a bit different to ones guys have in America, I think. This is the ones they tend to give you here in the UK on NHS. So arm through there, hold on to that. I've never used crutches before, and I hated them. When I'd first done this, I had a weekend away booked, so we went, and I was using my crutches trying to get around. And I'm not a weak guy, I'm not physically weak, but it just puts strain on muscles you haven't used across your chest and arms and things that, yeah, you're not used to using, and it starts to hurt your good leg as well, because obviously most of your weight's going on there. So I did not like them at all. So straight away I was looking at alternatives, looking on Google, found a device from America, which couldn't find really in the UK. There's 2 places online I found stock it, but they didn't have any in stock. And it's the iWalk 3. I'm not sponsored by these at all or anything, but this was amazing to have this. Basically your knee goes in this part of the iWalk, straps all in, and then you've got the foot that goes on the floor. So you can literally walk around with no hands. You can eventually carry a cup of coffee from the kitchen, which sounds just a simple thing to do, but try and do that on crutches without a lid on it, you're gonna make a mess. So that was a real good thing that I managed to found it on eBay. Somebody had obviously been in a similar situation and sold it after they've been finished using it. So if you can find an iWalk, either the 2 or the 3, I think the 2 looks pretty good as well. But if you can find one of them, that would be brilliant, get you out and about. So yeah, really just got to wait it out and try and keep going, keep happy if you can, because it's tough. You go from being really active, like I've been active in this last few years, crazy busy at work and things like that and out and about, but then suddenly to be able to not be able to do that is yeah, it's a bit of a change really. So try and keep positive. And one thing I did find was found this last night, actually only last night, a Facebook group. There's about 6,000 members on it, and it's the Achilles Tendon Rupture group. So if you search on Facebook, already just posted a picture getting some advice from people who have been through the same situation, because obviously you have friends and that, which is great, they'll rally around you, but if they haven't been through the situation, then you need to go somewhere where you can get some good advice. So the guys on there, there'll be ones that are in exactly the same situation as yourself, and you'll be able to get some ideas, time scales, what you'll be able to do, and also some key things to ask the surgeon if it's before surgery. I didn't find this group before surgery, so I didn't be able to ask anything like this, but certain things to ask, or asking your doctors, really, because there's a lot of advice on tendon ruptures as to what's the best route. Even the doctors and the surgeons don't seem to know exactly what the best route is. So sometimes you give your own ideas what you think's best. But, that is a really good group. So I'll put a link in it in the description to that group, and see how you get on with that, because getting some support and some ideas, because that's the thing that's kept me worried about how long it's going to be. Sometimes you hear 6, 7, 8 months, which for me personally, I can't take that time off work. So if I can get some clarity of how long it's going to be, but yeah, looking at about 3 months, I would say. But we'll see how it goes. I'll keep posting some videos, let you know how I'm getting on, and when I get back to work. Yeah, but in the meantime, just keep trying to do what you can. You can get an automatic car. That's a good thing because you get out and about. Get one of those iWalks if you can. I see quite a lot of people have these knee strollers where it's basically kneel on it like the iWalk, but it's just got a wheel on the bottom, which is really good for out and about. So you can get around a bit quicker. Because the iWalk's brilliant indoors. Outdoors it's good as well, but if you're walking long distances, I went to football last week, didn't obviously play, but just see the lads playing and walking back, it's a good walk to the car park. And yeah, it starts to hurt a bit. So probably one of those wheelers might be the way forward, or even looking at an e-scooter, something like that, with a seat on just to get around a bit easier. But yeah, I'll keep you posted and hope if you're looking at this, obviously done your Achilles, it's not all bad news. Keep positive and hope you'll be better soon as well and getting on the road to recovery.